cross-country champion, has stated earlier on this winter that he wants to go for the world record in this event, and tonight could be the night. Rashid El Bazir there, the Olympic silver medalist over 1500 metres, is a training partner of Skah, and I've no doubt at all that El Bazir is here to do a pacemaking job for Khalid Skah. Also there on the right of picture, Peter Stubbs, just going out of shot, an Australian who is an 800 metre man. He'll be doing the early pacemaking. The rest of this field, well, quite a few Belgians, one or two Dutch and French, but frankly, I think Skah is on for something special tonight. This man never hangs around. He doesn't like slow races. He doesn't like to lead necessarily, but he doesn't like slow races. And of course, he'll be aware that last night Moses Kiptanui in Stockholm came very close to the world record figures. World record 7:37.31 by Kiptanui. Last night Kiptanui came within a second of his own record, and certainly I think Skah would like at least to top the world rankings after this race, if not break those world record figures. Incidentally, Skah and El Bazir, there's a battle going on at the moment in Moroccan athletics. They're both threatening to boycott the World Cross-Country Championships and the World Indoor Championships in the next few weeks. If they're not given their promised bonuses for their Olympic medals by the Moroccan Federation. Khalid Skah is due $15,000 from the Moroccan Federation for his gold in the 10,000. El Bazir something slightly less for his silver in the 1500. Neither of them have received their monies. They're the only two men that got medals in the Olympic Games for Morocco, and they're making that a boycott threat to their own federation. I'd have thought they'd be doing themselves considerable damage if they boycott two major championships within a few weeks. Skah over on the inside, perhaps the shortest in the race, but certainly the strongest and the most powerful. Part-time law student. Skah in Arabic means the runaway, and he and El Bazir have been training at altitude at Ifran, the ski resort in Morocco. A lot of people know there are ski resorts in Morocco, but there are. Stubbs goes around the outside wearing number 1 seat, doing the early pacemaking job. Skah on the inside moves through to try and get behind him. El Bazir moves around into second place. Skah in fourth at the moment. 171 is Ruben Chesang of Kenya. And Stubbs taking them out at a good pace there, going through 200 metres in around 30, the Australian. Very experienced rabbit too, Stubbs. Does a lot of this pacemaking on the European circuit, has done for the last couple of years. Checks over his shoulder to make sure everybody's in position, as has been pre-arranged, and certainly they are. El Bazir in second place, the friend of Skah, who I'm sure will take over the pacemaking duties when the Australian drops out. Skah in third place needs to record around 61 seconds for every 400 metres. That's 30.5 for each lap of this track. Well, the clock didn't stop there, but they're on schedule. It was around 61 at 400 metres, and this pace stretching the field out. You can see that already. Brave running this from Skah. He knows the task ahead of him is very, very tough indeed. He's a man who's always in controversy, it seems. The Olympic Games, of course, he was disqualified initially after winning the 10,000 metres for receiving assistance from Butayeb, a teammate, in the latter stage of the race. The gold medal was given to Chalimo of Kenya, who was happy to receive it, and that result was then reversed, and Skah was given back his gold medal and is now the reigning Olympic 10,000 metre champion. But he says that the Kenyans have got it in for him. He says that the Kenyans have been running tactically against him as a team in the last 2 or 3 world cross countries and in major championships. And I don't think the relationship between him and the top Kenyan distance runners is in particularly good shape at the moment. Stubbs doing a good job here, around 2:2 at 800 metres. El Bazir still tucked in second place. The rest of this field hanging on gamely at a pace that I'm sure they won't be able to maintain. Trying to go with them is Gino Valheita, the Belgian, in fourth place, who is a good athlete. He ran 3:38 on this track last week for 1500 metres, so he's in very good form, Valheita. Stubbs has dropped out, and you can see what the effects of leading for just 1,000 metres have had on him. El Bazir takes up the role then. and pacemaker. Skah in second, Van Heter in third, and these three have got away. Chezang trying to go with them, but that gap is growing. Could be a danger man, Van Heter, if he can stay with this pace. 3:38 indoors is very impressive running indeed. And he's running tonight because he wants to do the 3,000 in the World Championship. So he's after a qualifying time tonight. Not the smoothest looking of runners, Van Heter. El Bazir took a lot of people by surprise with that Olympic silver in 1992. Was a semi-finalist in Tokyo in 91 at the World Championship, so was learning his trade very well over the last couple of years. And it's nice to hear of a friendship in Moroccan athletics when Boutayeb and Awita and Skah have been at each other's throats through the media in recent years. Well, we're not getting any splits, unfortunately, from that clock on screen, but this is still very close to world record schedule. Skah, a man with a fiendishly fast finish, is capable of picking it up in the last couple of laps if needs be. Coming up to 1,600 metres now, and they go through there in around 4.5, 4.6, so they are on schedule. That's exactly what they need. Good job being done here by El Bazir. Skah, incidentally, has the best outdoors for this distance of 7:37.09. The world record he's aiming at is 7:37.31, so he's virtually got to run a personal best for indoors or out to get that world record. Checks over his shoulder there, I'm not quite sure why. Nobody's going to stay with him. Certainly Van Heter has dropped right back, the Belgian, dying drastically on his feet after going with this early pace. El Bazir working hard, trying to take Skah as far as possible. Can only be a matter of time though before he has to step aside and let the Olympic 10,000 champion do the work himself. He's been in good form, El Bazir, around 3:38 in Stuttgart a few days ago behind Kiptanui and Herald, but now his job is done, he can't do any more. Going through 2,000 there in about 5.6, Khalid Skah, slightly outside world record schedule. He's going to have to pick it up, but it's going to be very hard indeed with 5 laps to go of this 200-metre circuit. You can see the grimace on Skah's face there, and he's got a long, long way to go. It's going to be a lonely last 800 metres for him. Comes into the home straight then with 4 laps to go, Khalid Skah. And you can see the clock, he's got to run those 4 laps in around 2 minutes. I think it's going to be a tall order. He's going to have to really push it along now. If you were watching Eurosport last night, you'll have seen Kiptanui come so close to the world record figures, and Kiptanui looked a lot more fluent than this. Skah isn't one of the most fluent of runners or aesthetically pleasing of runners at the best of times. He powers his way over the track rather than glides across it like Kiptanui. But this is good running, brave running. 3 laps to go for Khalid Skah then. He's going to have to run those last 3 laps in around 89 seconds. I don't think he's going to do it. Or can he? Skah pushes it on. No, there's definitely a shortening of stride there down the back straight. Grimacing hard now is Khalid Skah. He's really feeling the pain here. Astonishing running from this man who's a 10,000 metres specialist nowadays, remember. Ran 13.9 for 5,000 metres last summer to record a personal best. The rest of this field suffering way, way back behind him though. And he goes through with 400 metres to go there and around 6:42. So Skah now some way off world record schedule. Crowd trying to raise his performance with roaring down the back straight there. They're giving him every bit of support they possibly can. But I think it's gradually slipping out of his grasp now, that world record. Skah comes around the bend into the straight. 1 lap to go, but look at the clock as he goes through the line. 7:11 at the line. No, it's not going to do it, but it's been a great run from Skah. What a shame we couldn't see him and Moses Kiptanui race against each other. Kiptanui last night running 7:38. Skah here down the back straight, sprinting as hard as he can, giving it everything. That altitude training, those miles and miles of hard work with El Bazir in the mountains of Morocco being used now. And still Skah able to accelerate into the finishing straight, but the world record's gone. He's not going to get the world record. 7:39.68. Well, that is fabulous running by the Moroccan. Only a couple of seconds off his all-time personal best. The battle for second place there being won by 174 Christophe Impuns of Belgium. But there's some 15 seconds behind Skah, a long, long way back. Good running by Skah, very impressive indeed to see that. He's so consistent, Skah, always gives value for money. In great demand from promoters for that reason. Only ran 7:49 outdoors last year, didn't really run a serious 3,000 metres, was concentrating on the 10,000. That concentration was rewarded with that Olympic gold medal in the 10,000. Having had a slightly disappointing World Cross Country where he was aiming for his hat-trick in Boston last March, he came fourth behind John Ngugi. But Skah did have a good summer, personal best over 5,000 and a gold medal in the 10, and is looking very good midwinter with 7:39 for 3,000 metres. How does he manage to maintain and produce that sort of speed when he's in the middle of his winter training, presumably pouring in the mileage and restoring or regenerating the strength, recharging those batteries?